Hello everyone, we are learning today the car reservation through Amadeus reservation system or Amadeus GDS. Uh, it's car reservation means it's a taxi reservation, it's a car rental or rental car reservation. And when we will be talking here like car company, we should not be wrongly interpreting it as a car manufacturing company, rather it's a taxi company in the world. And before going for the car reservation procedure, let us try to find out what are the major taxi companies in this world and what are their codes. Those would be used in Amadeus CDS system. The entry is DNC. This is the entry for coding as well as decoding of the car company. uh, as you know, the biggest players in this car or taxi company in the world are Hodge and Avis. And Hodge has a code ZE or ZE. Similarly, DNC Avis has its code ZI. Sorry, DNC AVIS. Okay, so Avis is ZI. These are the major two companies. Some more car companies are there in the world, and we can find from their code what are those car companies. So these are the major car companies in the world, starting from Alamo till Auto Europe. So these are the major players. Like Europe Car is another major player in the market. And let's try to decode some of the car companies. DNC EP. EP means it's Europe Car. DNC SX. Okay, S6. It's another car company in the market, so we can code as well as decode a car company through Amadeus. And all the car companies or the taxi companies do have their two-letter alpha codes. All the different car companies or taxi companies would not be available in all different cities in the world. And when we will be talking about the taxis or the cars, most often they are used for the transfer services from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel to the airport. And then during the stay of the guest at the hotel, those taxis are used for different purposes like sightseeing and or different travel purposes. So when we talk about a taxi or car hire, generally we should be checking the information not according to the city, rather most often we'll be checking the information of the availability of all those taxi companies near to a particular airport. So let us try to find what are those list of car companies available in a particular city, like in Delhi. So it's CL. CL stands for the list of car companies with their locations in a particular city like Delhi. So in Delhi we find this many car companies, not much are there. Europe Car is there, then it's Hodge is there, Avis is there, and their locations are given here. And when you see the location or the list of car companies in a particular city or near a particular airport, the sequence number or the serial number is two-letter alpha codes. It's not 1 2 3 4. So A B A C, in this way the serial number is mentioned, and then the taxi company code is given here. EP means Europe Car, ZE is Horse, ZI is Avis. All these companies are given, and the names of all those taxi companies are also given. In between the code of the taxi and the name of the taxi company, we find a symbol like a plus symbol. Sometimes we may find a forward slash mark, sometimes we may find only a space is there, there is no such special mark is given. This plus sign indicates it's a complete access plus, and if it's a forward slash, it means a complete access only. If it is a space, that means a standard access. What is the meaning of a complete access plus? Complete access plus means the reservation system of that particular car company has given a complete access to Amadeus to find the inventory. That means most frequently the inventory, whatever the change happens in the inventory of the GD, I mean the CRS of that particular taxi company is updated in the GDS Amadeus. And if it is a forward slot, that means complete access is given. That means the frequency is a little bit lesser, the update frequency of the inventory. And if it is a standard access, that means the inventory updation comes to Amadeus not so frequently. It's, I mean, with a, I mean, update that is given periodically. So unlike the hotel reservation, in hotel reservation, when we check the availability, there is another mark called exclamation mark, and exclamation mark means that is a dynamic access. That means immediately the inventory change is updated in the GDS Amadeus. So we have here three different types of access level: plus, forward slash, and a space. Plus means complete access plus. And nowadays, as the technology is evolving and no one wants to uh, be at a back foot while selling their products and services. That's why every car companies now have that complete access plus. Uh, that kind of inventory access is given to GDS. Um, and now let me try to interpret some of the information here given. The, the car in line number AD, it's a Europe car and its code is EP, and it has given a complete access plus access to GDS, and it is in Delhi. And this W indicates that it's towards the western side of the city Delhi. If it is T means within the terminal, the airport terminal, first terminal, 01 terminal of Delhi airport. And the second is C means it's towards the center of the city Delhi, and it's the number one outlet of that Europe car company in this particular city. So you can find the different indicators here: T, C, W. Sometimes you may find E means towards the east of the city. Sometimes you may find a code like S means towards the south side of the city. Sometimes you may find a code like X, that means towards the outskirt of the city and in scattered way. So you may find the locations of the different outlets of these taxi companies in a particular city, and then the complete address is given. Then the kind of vehicle they have, it's a DCOS, means it's a D stands for a vehicle with 2 to 4 doors. C stands for a compact car. O stands for a oversized, it's bigger car. Similarly, S a standard car, and it indicates whether those car companies and those kind of taxis are available or not. Y stands for yes, means it's available. So here in most of the outlets we can find a 2 to 4 door taxis available. Dot means it's not confirmed. It's N means no, it's not available. I means no. Instead of this particular car type, there is an intermediate car. So standard car is not available. In place of they are giving an intermediate car. If dot is there, that means the inventory is not updated. So in this you can find whether that kind of taxi is available or not. We'll be learning about the different types of taxi codes. How do you know this D, C, O, and S? What are the meanings of all these letters? So the vehicle type is mentioned here. C stands for a 2 to 4 door car, and it's D means it's a 4 door, and it's okay. C means 2 to 4. Oh, it was my mistake. D stands for a 4 door car, and if it is like S means it's a standard car. I means it's an intermediate vehicle. So such kind of information we may find at the last column of that car location display. Now let me go for the car availability display in a particular city. Like let me find the car availability like CA. CA stands for car availability, and let me go for Rome city. And the car I want from 12th of January uh, till 15th of January, and the arrival information is like it's 1200 and 0800. What does it mean? uh, what is what is the meaning of this particular entry? CA stands for car availability in Rome, and I want the car from 12th of January till 15th of January for my guest. The guest would be arriving at the airport at 12, so the pickup has to be done from the airport for the customer. That would be on 12th of January at 12 noon, and the drop on 15th of January at the airport would be at 8 a.m. in the morning. So this is the way we can find the availability of the car. Generally, I told you before that we source the car information with specific airports, not with the specific cities. Let me try to run this entry, whether it's being executed or not. Let's see. Here is saying that please specify airport, use CL. If you want the car location list, okay, you can take the city code, but if you want the car availability, always we should be looking for the car availability with specific to a particular airport. So instead of Rome, I should be mentioning here the Rome airport, that is Fiumicino. Would that be okay? So FCO, the Fiumicino airport of Rome, and let me find whether the cars are available or not. Here so many cars are available, and yes, we see here the information is given. So many different taxis are available, and it's not the end of the display at the end, rather we can move down for more information. Okay, so more taxis are available. No, it's only 11 taxis are available. Okay, if more pages would be there, we can move down, move up in this way. Okay, so we find here, let me try to find the same information with not 24-hour clock system. We may find the information according to the 12-hour AM PM clock system as well. Let me try if that is working fine or not. So instead of 1200 hours, I should be mentioning here 12 PM, and 800 hours I may mention here 8 AM. Is it working? Okay, it's giving exactly the same information. So the both 12-hour clock system and 24-hour clock system is working fine. The other different ways of and finding the availability, we can mention not exact dates, like the person is coming on 12th of January from the airport, Fiumicino airport, and he would be dropped at the airport on 15th of January. In place of 12th of January and 15th of January, I may mention the entry in this way. It's 12th of January, and 3 days later the drop would be there for the customer. This would be also working. So we can find the arrival of the guest on Thursday, that is 12th of January 2023 at 12, and then the return would be on 15th of January, that's Sunday, 2023, and 8 AM is the drop time. So that's properly interpreted by the system if we are putting the number of days instead of the particular date for the return travel. So this is the way you can find the availability display. Here we find so many different taxi companies are there. Fox Travel is there, Alamo is there, Enterprise is there, National is there, Budget Travel is there, Avis is there, Hodge is there, 60 is there, Europe Car is there. So these are so many different kind of car companies are there, and all the car companies have given complete access plus that kind of access is given to the GDS, and these are the different car types. Those are given by the different car companies at different outlets. The first taxi outlet is within the terminal. T stands for terminal. Here the sequence number is mentioned in 1, 2, 3, 4 in numeric order. In the car list or in the car location, we found the sequence number or serial number was given with 2 character alpha codes, but here while checking the availability display, the sequence number or the serial number is mentioned in the numeric order. And this second column here stands I mean that mentions whether the outlet is within the terminal of the airport. T stands for within the terminal, O means it's outside the terminal somewhere else, and maybe just near the airport but not within the terminal. And if it is S means it's the south of the city, it's W means the western side of the city, C means the center of the city, E means east, and W means west. Sometimes it's scattered, it's not with a particular location. We may find information like X here. So where the location of this particular outlet is there in the city or near the airport, that's given in the second column. And the third column is about the taxi company code. Fourth is this plus sign, that means a complete access plus is given, and then the taxi company name, and then the car type is mentioned. Car type means it's like what is the type of vehicle, whether it's air conditioned or not, whether it's with automatic transmission or with manual transmission. All that information we can find from this particular column, and let us try to interpret the meaning of this particular um, uh, with the particular what car types. We can decode it through an entry, that is CG, then put the code of that car type like ECMR. What is the meaning of ECMR? ECMR means it's a economy. E stands for economy, C stands for 2 to 4 doors, M stands for a manual transmission is there. That means the shifting of the gear has to be done manually, it's not auto. And then the last letter is R. R stands mean for stands for a vehicle. We do not know whether it's electric vehicle or it's a gasoline vehicle, and but yes, R stands for air condition. If it is N, the last character is N, that means it's not air conditioned. And if it is E, E means it's electric, and or it's a air conditioned, like here in line number 7, MBAE, CG, MBAE. It's M means it's a mini car, and B means it's 2 to 3 doors and auto specific drive, that means it's a automatic transmission. And last letter is E means it's electric vehicle with air conditioner. So this is the specification with respect to a particular car type code. We can find the complete information about the car type code. Here you see M stands for, it's in a particular sequence. This comes in the first letter, and this is the second letter. This particular part is the third letter, and this is the fourth letter of the car type code. Suppose my car type code is CDMN. What does it mean? C means it's a compact car, and it's a D means with 4 doors, and it's M means it's a manual transmission is there, and N means there is no air conditioner. So suppose my car type is here given like MCAR. What does it mean by MCAR? M means mini, C means compact, A means automatic, R means yes, air conditioner is there. What is the meaning of SBMN? SBMN means it's a standard car with 2 doors, 2 to 3 doors generally. And then M means it's a manual transmission, and then N means there is no air conditioner. What is the meaning of XSAN? Special sports car, and it's A means automated transmission, and N means there is no air conditioner. So in this way we can try to interpret the car vehicle type. We can also check the availability with specific car company. We do not want to find all the car companies in my availability display. Then I can put the same availability display entry as I had before. But here before the airport code I can mention like I want only what's that, horse cars. I don't want other cars. Then we can put the general availability display for the car, and before the airport code I can put the car company code. Here we can see so here we can find the car company code is not mentioned, rather we have taken only horse in Rome, and the car type code is mentioned, the car company code is not mentioned here, and then the tariff is given. Okay, so let me try to interpret why the tariff is given in Indian rupees. It's Indian rupees because I'm checking from the login of an Indian Amadeus. That's why it's given in INR. We can find the information of the tariff in a foreign currency as well, like we may need to pay in euro in Rome. That's why you may try to find the information in what's that, euro currency as well. The same entry at the end, just put FC stands for foreign currency dash EUR, and the information will be given in euro currency. And here is saying that the daily rate is for the first car, it's 24.08 euro. The total estimated cost for this 4 days would be 160.66, and then what's that, unlimited mileage is there. That means there is no such limitation to number of miles you are traveling. Of course there is always a what's the restriction of the initial and final time of the day. And in the old concept in Europe, there was a 7 p.m. concept. That means after 7 p.m. of every day it would be considered like the next day. But nowadays the global concept is adopted by most of the car companies, so we may find a different time period of the day that is adopted by the taxi company. And if extra hours be there, then of course you can find extra hour charges may be applicable. So these are the whether it's a star mark means some extra hour may apply. And sometimes you may find a rate is converted at the rate, means this rate was not initially published in this currency, rather it was published in a different currency and it is converted to another currency, but it is with no at the rate symbol. That means all these tariffs are also available in euro currency, it's not a converted information. Then the rate codes are mentioned. Of course you would be finding the rate codes in the later part of the study. Then what kind of vehicle types are available here? It's a P, G, DUI. You know what is the meaning of P, G, DUI? Only G type vehicles are available here. Here G generally stands for a general type of vehicle. P stands for a premium vehicle. D, you know, D means it's a what's that, with 2 to 4 doors, or sorry, 4 doors vehicle. So these are the different types of car types that are available. Oh, sorry, my mistake. P means it's a advance payment is required. G stands for guarantee. D for deposit. Y for policy. No show fee and more, all that would apply. So here it's mentioned everywhere, it's a guarantee, means a guarantee is required. We'll be learning how to put a guarantee at the time of selling a taxi. So that means we need to inform the taxi company about the form of payment, how the payment would be going to be done at the time of the service is delivered to the customer. And here, unlike the air product, the amount is not paid at the time of making the reservation, rather it would be paid at the time of the service is rendered to the customer. Let me ignore this display and try to find the car availability with specific airline itinerary, or with respect to a particular air segment in a PNR. Ignore, and let me try to create a PNR first. Okay, this is my itinerary, and in a PNR I'm on the way of creating a PNR, and I want to find a taxi for my customer for his pickup from the FCO airport on 12th of January and a drop on 15th of January at the FCO airport. So how can I find a find the availability of all the taxis at the FCO airport with respect to this particular itinerary. It's CA for availability display, S stands for the segment or air segment. Number 2, that's from Amsterdam to Fiumicino. When the customer is going at Fiumicino, I need a taxi, and again I will be dropped at Fiumicino airport on 15th of January. It will be automatically taken if I am putting this entry. This much entry is enough. And here the information is coming in Indian rupees because I did not mention any kind of foreign currency modifier here. And you see here on 12th of January at 11:55 the person would be arriving at the airport, and then the person would be returning on 15th of January at 7:30. That's 1 hour before the actual departure time. The person should be dropped at the airport. Maybe it's required for the check-in purposes. Generally, it's while dropping a customer, the time is mentioned 1 hour before the actual departure time mentioned on the itinerary. And you find here the different taxi companies are there. Suppose I want to find uh, only a particular taxi. I do not want all the different taxis in the in this display. I want only Avis taxi. I don't want Hodge, I do not want Alamo, I do not want Fox, etc. So what would be my entry? It's let me go back to the PNR, and it's a CA S2. Instead of S2 directly, I can put here ZI, means Avis. I want only the Avis car for the segment number 2, and I can find now only Avis is coming. The other car companies are not given here. ZI or Avis is given here, and the tariff is given in INR as I'm using Amadeus in India. And I can put a foreign currency modifier if I want, EUR or USD as I like. So you find here the currency is given in US dollar, and here you find that at the rate symbol is coming. That means originally the tariff is not published in US dollar, rather it was published in a different currency. For example, euro, that's in Europe, and it is converted to US dollar. And the star symbol, that means extra amount will be charged if you are going beyond the stipulated time period of that car service. And unlimited mileage is there. And here you can find advance payment is required and or a guarantee is required. That means we may make a deposit before the service is rendered, and we may even give a guarantee by mentioning the card information, like the debit card or credit card information of the customer or the agency at the time of selling the reservation. So with that, we came to the end of the first part of this lesson, where we learned about the car coding, decoding, and also we tried to find the what's that, availability display. Of course, I left one part. I can mention like I want only the what's that, economy, compact, and manual shifting cars, CAS3. Like I want FC in euro currency. I want a vehicle type a VT, ECMR. What does it mean by ECMR? EC means it's economy, C stands for a compact car, and it's a manual shifting or manual transmission. Then R means no air conditioner. So can I find such kind of cars? Okay, I find here all the ECMR cars are there, and here the is equal to sign, means exact match. These are ECMR cars from different car companies. Can I find only the standard cars? I do not want whether it's a compact car, whether it's a manual shifting or air conditioner. I want only the standard cars, or only S. Can I find here? Okay, find here SFMR. Then okay, this is an exception here. SDMR. All these kind of car types are coming when I am putting the vehicle type S. So in this way you can put some kind of modifiers along with the availability display. Okay, we can make a change to the availability display, of course, by I mean, in the next chapter of this course, we will be learning about the change in availability and other what's that terms or the conditions associated with is availability line, and then we'll be learning the policies and how the guarantee is required at the time of selling. All that information will be covered. Thank you.